Okay, we're here today to talk about the new craze out there in beer pump brewing, and that would be this Blichman Riptide, they're calling it. Let you know that I'm trying to give you an unbiased opinion as best I can. I've been in the pump business for 22 years, both manufacturing and distributing pumps throughout the world, all industries, beer, craft beer, beer brewers, pretty much involved in a little bit of everything. So we'll try the best I can to give you an unbiased opinion here. So we bought this pump, took it out of the box. The packaging was pretty nice. The first thing we look for in any pump that we sell to any customer is safety. There's a lot going on with this Blichman pump here. So first of all, we see this valve here that is supposed to be a control valve. And when you turn it to the very end, it's opened up. The problem we see with this, which we're going to demonstrate later in a video, is if this clip is pulled and you continually turn this knob, what eventually happens, I have some screws out here so I can take this apart easier on the video, but what eventually happens when you unscrew this knob is it pops out on you. Like even at this point here, the knob is going to release fluid out because it's only thing between you and hot fluid is this O-ring. So it's great that there's a control valve in here. You can easily add one on the outside, but we see this as a safety problem for anyone that is pumping a fluid at 200 degrees plus F. Could seriously burn you. There's a valve that you can open and evacuate the fluid from the cavity. That's the first problem we see with this. Another major safety issue we see with this pump is this relief valve. You probably never see this in any other type of pump for any application because of the liability of it alone. Again, we have over 200 F fluid, in this case hot wort and water, going through this pump. If someone pulls this valve up, which is very similar to a soda cake valve, what's going to happen is eventually fluid is going to come out and burn you. How a manufacturer is allowed to put something like this on the market and not take any liability for it is beyond me, but there's no way that our company would have anything to do with selling a pump that is allowing someone to blow fluid all over the place. The rest of the design here is real simple. It's like an Amco food pump. It's got a clamp on it which allows the whole pump to come apart. Machined 316 stainless steel. What I believe to be is a PPA polysulfone Rayton material. Seems very soft to me, which could cause a problem riding on the shaft and swelling up for an easy run dry situation, which would pretty much stop. Enclosed magnet, which is good. The other thing we see here is they put this adapter on the pump, which I only have one screw in, so make this easy. This adapter right here is basically adapted to a March 809, it's an 809-05810. So this is March's bracket from their 809. It's well known that Blichman's in Illinois, close to March, so they probably are trying to get some help from them. I'm surprised that March did put their bracket on here. One of their pieces of material on this pump, they do become responsible for some liability issues with the entire pump because their part is on this. So that's another thing to watch out for. The motor. So let me finish with the bracket. So this 809 bracket comes right off, obviously. And there's a big problem here with aligning this bracket. Was not solved here by Blichman. Again, Blichman is not a pump manufacturer. They are a vessel manufacturer and all kinds of systems. Not much experience in the pump field. And it looks like it really comes out here because there's not a lot of thought was put into this other than making it pretty with a lot of bells and whistles. There you have the March 809 bracket, obviously from March, has March's part number on it. Also, this is March's magnet. It's a magnet off their 809. Been making it for 30 years. It's a good magnet. What we did notice about this motor, which is obviously Chinese made, not from March, is the shaft is extremely small. For this size motor, the shaft should be at least twice the size, and it would create a weakness. Also, we noticed on this motor that it's on a plate, and there's no capacitor or wiring junction box on the top. And actually, this pump is actually cocked on the plate, so it's not even straight. But we noticed that there's under the Blichman name here, there's 4 screws And when you take them out, which the screws are not really made of good material at all, and two of them unthreaded, and they're very, obviously Chinese. But underneath this pump is where the junction box is. And this is what scares me the most personally, because in any beer pumping application or food processing or any kind of fluid application, the last place you would want this junction box is on the bottom end of the pump. Look at any of the pumps out there. You'll see junction boxes on the side, on the top, and there's a reason they're there. So now you're exposing wiring right to fluid with no seal whatsoever between this junction box and bottom. Very, very dangerous. We don't recommend using this pump in any wet area or underneath or any way that the top of it can get wet. It's a totally enclosed Chinese motor. You know it's Chinese by the wiring. It's undersized wire, not rated. It looks like they may have rated the cord. It doesn't look like it's UL. It's definitely a Chinese cord, but even their cord's not rated UL. Hey, again, I cannot emphasize how disturbing this junction box being underneath this pump is. And if March did have a play in designing and making this pump, I'm surprised. Because we've dealt with March in the past, and their safety is number one, and their designs have gone on for 30 years. This is a very, very poor design. Obviously not made in the US. It's a Chinese design because safety is not an issue out there. So I would be very, very cautious about that. Otherwise, yeah, it looks real pretty. Hey, let's get it, $199. But I'd be very careful on what you buy here. There's no certifications on the motor, no electrical certifications. The safety factors, again, on both these valves concern me. And obviously they're trying to come out with they're adapting to this bracket, which is also on other brands, including the March, so they can throw you a Blichman head to add on to your situation. But remember, you start mixing parts like this, especially with these safety issues, you're gonna have one hell of a liability issue if someone gets hurt. But I really don't see a workaround on these two valves and the safety issues associated with them. So we're going to do some fluid testing on this and show you exactly how safe the pump is in a future video. But thanks for watching. Hopefully this was an unbiased video and you can gain some knowledge from it. Thanks.